You better run, you better run. There's a man who fears no one, no one. Run, you better run, you better run. And if he finds you, you'll be done, done,
Hello everybody! Welcome back to Killing Time with Kayla. And more importantly, happy Friday the 13th. Now I know a lot of people consider this day of bad luck and impending doom and misfortune, but I like to think that it only applies to like everybody except for me. So we'll see. I've been teasing all week that because today is Friday the 13th and it is the final Friday the 13th of 2024 that we're going to make the whole episode about that, and I'm keeping that promise. As you can see, my Jason Voorhees is actually the Freddy versus Jason mask is just hanging out right here. I've got my Final Girl shirt on, which, as those of you who follow horror know, that the Final Girl trope was pretty much invented by the Friday the 13th series. I also, because it is Friday the 13th, I have gifts to open. Randomly, I have gifts. My boyfriend got me a gift, and a good friend of mine also got me a gift, and I don't know if that means we should just like turn Friday the 13th into like a gift-giving holiday like Christmas or birthdays. Like next year, there's only one Friday the 13th for the entire year, and it happens to fall during my birth month. And so my birthday is June the 7th, and then Friday the 13th is obviously June the 13th. And so if you guys want to start sending me gifts like on June the 7th and June the 13th, I won't fight you on that. But I don't know, let's get into opening some presents. I'm going to start with this one. This one's from the boyfriend. Also, I really appreciate the wrapping paper. He totally gets me. Very Nightmare Before Christmas. Open the gifts. Yes. I'll pick that up later. Small box. Okay. Oh God. Whew. Looks like snow. Styrofoam. What is it? I thought I knew what this was. Oh my gosh. You know this, so he collects Funko Pops for me, so I thought maybe he found me like some Funko Pop or something to like. Oh my God, it's a Camp Crystal Lake snow globe with Jason's mask. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but I'm gonna post it on my social media. Oh my God. And then it says, oh, it's Jason Lives on the back, which we all know is from the 6th Friday the 13th movie where, you know, Jason comes back after getting electrocuted by a faulty wire, and then, you know, now you can't really kill him anymore. Like kind of like Michael Myers. Thanks, Theon. Oh my God, she's so cute. She's gonna stay here for the rest of the episode. Be gone, trash. Okay. Reset. Ah! Oh my God. I think he's here. I think Jason's here. But no time for that, Jason. I have another present to open. Hold on. I like big boxes and I cannot lie. Let's see what's in here. Oh, I know what these are. This is from my friend Mosh. We all know Mosh. He is the sneaker king. And this past year, I probably have 5 or 6 pair of his custom sneakers or his Halloween sneakers. He actually made me my own custom pair years ago, a Pennywise pair that he like hand sketched on. They're absolutely amazing. Then I have a Chucky pair, and now I have a couple more. I have a Freddy pair, and now I have Welcome to Camp Mosh Gang. I was ready to read Crystal Lake. Let's see what they look like. I was hoping I was gonna get a pair of these. Also, his packaging is so dope, always. Check out, so I can travel with them. Some bloody tissue paper. These are so badass. Oh my God, these might be some of his best. Check these out. These are so, check them. Wow, Mosh, thank you so much. I love these. These are, I wonder if I can like keep these on here too. Gosh, I love getting presents from people who understand my love for horror. Mosh also told me that he is restocking these. They did sell out. So like right now, like today, if you want to get you a pair so we can be rocking our Camp Crystal Lake sneaks, go do it now. Oh, I love them. Mwah. Okay. Well, Unfortunately, that's all the gifts that I was given today. So I guess we'll get right into real talk. Okay, so real talk. I mean, it's no surprise what we're going to be talking about, but we're going to run through some of the Friday the 13th movies. Sounds like the beginning of a Rihanna song. A little fun fact for those who don't know that is actually shortened for Kill Her Mommy, the iconic Kill Her Mommy line. So y'all know the franchise kicked off in 1980. That is when we all came to fall in love with the infamous Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake. Now we never got a full clear look of Jason until part 2, but we did see a flashback of young Jason drowning in the lake because his camp counselors were too busy knocking boots in the back cabins, and so poor Jason drowned, and he was already low functioning on the spectrum as it was, and these guys didn't even care. Did not even care about him. But we didn't really meet Jason until the next one, but we did, the main villain was Mama Pamela, Jason's mom, Mama Pam. And understandably so, she was pissed. She trusted these camp counselors with her baby boy, and they just let him die. Listen, I'm in no position to tell anybody how to parent their kid, and if she feels like the best way to stand up for her baby is to go murder some camp counselors, even though they may or may not have been the ones that caused him to die in the first place, then you know what, Ma Pan.
Well, Pan.
It's Pam.
Do you? Now, I feel like I would maybe take things, be a little less dramatic for how I retaliated, but I don't, who's to say? But yeah, so we did not meet Jason in this one, but Pam was the one who was, slicing up some teenagers. Now, unfortunately, things didn't really work out for Mama Pam. Pam ended up losing her head. Both figuratively and literally. Now, besides giving us Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th Part 1 also gave us another heartthrob, and that is Kevin Bacon. He played this guy named Jack. Kevin did not quite survive. He actually almost got turned into bacon. But although Kevin Bacon did not survive Friday the 13th, his career and his jawline have survived Hollywood. Shout out to Kev. But listen, in all seriousness, Friday the 13th did the damn thing back in 1980. They really introduced a lot of things to film, to horror that we haven't quite seen before. Like I said, I'm wearing my Final Girl shirt, and it wasn't until part 2 that we really got to grasp the idea of what a Final Girl was. Horror films and films leading up to that just really love throwing a girl out there who, has her tits flopping out through the woods while she gets the axe thrown through them. But we were introduced to Ginny in part 2, and Ginny, she was a child psychologist, and she was able to use her wit and her strength and her knowledge and her brains and not her boobs to defeat Jason. That's exactly what she did at one point in the movie. We saw her trying to get into Jason's head. She made him think that she was Pam. She made him think that she was Mama Pam, and that's ultimately what distracted him and led to his demise. So shout out to our Final Girl Jenny. Then there was part 3, which was done in 3D, which is a pretty big deal back then. I was not alive when this one came out, but if I were, I would have gone and seen it, because to this day I absolutely loathe 3D glasses. It makes me car sick in a movie theater. So then we get to part 4, which is called The Final Chapter, which would lead all of us to believe that this was going to be the final installment in the iconic Friday the 13th series. And I know that was the intention, but the box office was popping off, so no way that the final chapter could actually be called The Final Chapter. Swerve! This is where we also meet little baby legend killer Tommy Jarvis. Love this kid. He's 2'8", so just a little taller than me. And that man, he knew what was up. He was the man of the house from a very young age. He knew how to check cars if something was going wrong. And you know what he knew how to do way before his time? Double tap a bitch. We saw him take a machete and go to town on Jason Voorhees, and he didn't stop after one pop. No, he came back and he popped and he kept popping again. Shout out to Tommy Jarvis. We couldn't do it without you. Then we end up in part 5, which is my personal, probably one of my least favorite, because all of a sudden Jason's not the main protagonist anymore. You just demoted him from being the main bad guy. What the hell? I'm here on part 5 because I started at part 1 and I want to see this through. Stick to the script, my guy. Didn't really love it, but then we go to 6, and this is, oh my god. It's okay. Jason Lives. I will say, this was a lot of fun, but giant eye roll emoji This is also where I'm like, yeah. Okay, so the power line shocks him while he's in his grave, and now he was dead. Homeboy was dead, 6 foot under, dead. We did it. He's gone. No, he's not. If you get struck by a power line, which a lot of times during hurricane season, they tell you not to go outside because if there's down power lines, it could kill you. But if you're already dead and you're in a grave and you get hit by one, you could too live out the fortune of regaining life like Jason Voorhees did. But this is just where we get into that like horror movie thing where now they're invincible. Now it's like the supernatural thing like we saw with Michael Myers later on, which is when I stopped loving the character, is when like, okay, now we're if we can't kill him with a bullet between, you know, the eyes, what's the point? Now, I do want to fast forward to 1993 when I was only 2 years old, and the only horror that I had encountered was being born. And it is also the year that Freddy went to hell. Freddy Goes to Hell, the final Friday, did something for horror fans. It did this little thing that gave us hope for a potential cinematic universe within horror. We were given Easter eggs, ladies and gentlemen. We got a glimpse of the Necronomicon from The Evil Dead, and the ending of the film famously features Freddy Krueger's glove reaching up from the ground, which of course sets up the eventual crossover between Freddy versus Jason, which we love. I love Freddy, by the way. Freddy is my horror crush. Fuck, marry, kill, Ash, Freddy, Jason, fuck, Freddy, always, you know. Got us really excited to maybe have a crossover of Freddy, Jason, and Ash. And there was actually a limited edition or a limited comic book series that came out like back in 2007, 2008 that set this up. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, or in whatever order. And it got people really excited that maybe this was actually going to happen. This megaverse of horror. This would have been a really cool thing to see. And it almost happened. So listen to this. I'm going to read it for you. Following the box office success and ambiguous ending of the crossover slasher film Freddy vs. Jason, plans are being made for a follow-up film based on the storyline of the comic sequel, which delved into the concept of including Ash Williams of the Evil Dead horror franchise and recurring characters from both A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th franchises. However, due to creative differences between New Line Cinema and Bruce Campbell, the film was scrapped. Well, New Line Cinema and Bruce Campbell, I'm going to need to get your shit together by next Friday the 13th, which falls a week after my birthday. So the greatest birthday gift you could give to me is to make this happen. Give it to me. Thank you. And now it is time for Real Forecast. And I know I said we were only talking about Friday the 13th this episode, but this is why I talked about the subject right before about the crossover, because we have a new Evil Dead coming out in 2026 called Evil Dead Burn, baby, burn. Love that title. It's only called Evil Dead Burn. I added the burn, baby, burn for dramatics. Super pumped about this one. We don't have a lot of information about this. We do know that Sebastian Vanacek is going to be who's tied to it, alongside writer Florent Bernard, Sammy Ramy, Robert Tapper, several producers. There's no information on like where it's going to kind of fall in the, you know, the stories, but if anything is clear, we know we're going to have a lot more Deadites to explore. Speaking of Deadites, would we agree that like Freddy and Jason both could be considered Deadites? Even more pushing my argument that there should be a crossover between the three? Yeah! Alright everyone, that is it for this week's episode of Killing Time with Kayla, Friday the 13th episode. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. I just love talking about scary movies with you guys. Comment below or hit me up on social media. Let me know who your favorite horror movie villains are, what your favorite horror movies are, your favorite Friday the 13th movies are, your favorite Evil Dead movies are. Do you think there could be some kind of crazy horror cinematic megaverse? And if so, who would you put in it? I just want to hear from you guys. We have a great episode coming up next week, so I hope you will come back for that. But until then, Final Girl out. See ya.